Hey everyone, BBQ Kyle here. Today I'm going to be showing you how I built my villager trading depot. Some of the mechanisms in here are from a design by YouTuber SZ Petty. So go check out his channel if you want to see how he does his. But this is how I prefer to build my trading depot. The one I'm building today has 9 stalls and an overflow. You can extend it for as long as you want. There is no limitation as to how long you can extend this. This one's just 5. You can do 10, 20, 100, doesn't matter. You can loop it around and do multiples next to each other, however you want to do it. But today, I'm going to be showing you how to build this 9 stall version. So to start this build, we're going to make a little platform that is 9 by 3. Then on the long end, we're going to build up 1 row. On every other block, starting at the end, we're going to place another block on top of that row. And then around back, we're going to build out and up, just like this, and remove the lower block. So you end up with something like that. Build up another block like this. And once again, out and up. On the back, removing the lower block. And then on the back side of these blocks here, we're going to build out. So you should end up with something like this. Grab regular rail. Place them on the bottom. Then detector rail. On the next block up. And on the next block up, place a rail and remove it. Just so we get the rail sloped. Just like that. Still on the front side. On the third block up, place another block. And then in front of that, on the lower half, place a slab and run that in front of the entire row. And then do the same with slabs on the top of the last full block you placed. Grab your iron doors and place them on the slab on the side in front of the detector rail. Then grab your block, build up like this. Now on these blocks, we're going to build up 1, 2, 3. On these, build up 2. And on these, 1. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. Once you have that done, come back around to the front. Place 2 blocks between the front columns, like this, on the top of the columns. And on the bottom of the lower block, place a wooden button. Back around on the back side, on these 3 blocks here, place a block out from the one in the middle. Place a redstone torch on top of each one. Place a block on top of one of the torches, and run a row of blocks the length of the structure. Starting at one end, place powered rail, regular rail, regular rail. Then regular rail, regular rail, regular rail, powered, regular, 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 regular. And you continue that all the way down. Now grab a lever, and under each one of your powered rails, place a lever and turn it on. Now there's 2 possible ways you'll have to run the redstone on this side. Determine which end you want the carts to enter from. So let's say we want this end. If we remove this redstone torch and place it back, and the rail is then facing away from where you want the carts to enter, we'll run it like this. Place down a block there with redstone dust on it. Then we'll need a block there and a torch there. So when there's no cart in the stall, the rail is facing where the carts will be coming from. Now let's say we wanted the carts to enter from this side. We remove the torch and place it back. It is now facing where we want the carts to enter from. What you do is place a torch there and a torch there, and you're done. Now, which one you'll have to use is dependent on how you oriented this in the world, whether it's facing north, south, east, or west. So you have to do that test where you remove the torch and see which way the rail faces. But as you can see, when I place in a cart and push it down there, it is now facing away. So when I place a cart here, it'll go into the next stall. And if I try it from this end with the other redstone layout, I place a cart here, it goes into the stall, and the rail will switch direction, so that the next one will go into the next stall. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to have the carts coming in from this side. So I'll need to repeat this redstone layout on all 3 of the other stalls. So I've marked which way the carts will enter with this rail right here. And as you can see, there is a cart in each one of the stalls. So the rail is facing away, so we know we have the right redstone layout. At the end, we're going to stare down like this. Get rid of this block. And place rail like that. Down below that rail, we'll need to stare up 1, 2, 3, so that this block is underneath this rail with a 1 gap space in between. Run rail up, and then remove this one. And down here, place in 2 blocks. And if you want to make it look a little bit nicer, go ahead and place in a wall like this. So it copies all the other stalls, but we're going to wall it off like that. And just extend this down. So basically, this ends up just being a stall that doesn't hold any villagers. It just passes them right on through. And now we need to decide which way we want the carts to exit. I'm going to say exit from this side. I'm going to do it on the same end as the entrance. But you can do it either way. You can have them exit on the opposite side if you want. But starting at the end you want them to exit from, place a powered rail there. Regular, regular. Regular, regular, regular. Same pattern as the top rail. Until every one of these rails is connected. Grab a lever, place it next to each powered rail, and turn it on. Just like that. Now to make the carts leave the stalls, just press the button, and they'll roll out. Up next, we need to build something that will dispose of the villagers. So you can run this wherever. You can make it curve this way or make the rail run this way, just wherever you want to put it. I'm just going to build it straight out just to keep it simple. So we'll run it into a powered rail, detector rail, and then an activator rail. Place a lever or a torch here to make sure this rail is always powered. And then on one side of your detector rail, place a block with a repeater set to maximum delay, running into another block with redstone dust. Place a block next to that one in front of the activator rail, and on top of it, facing the activator rail, place a sticky piston with a block in front. And you can remove this if you want, and you want to make sure you put this block below it. Then we want to place a hopper, which you can use a hopper chain and or item elevator to run it back up to wherever you're collecting your villagers from. But I'm just going to put it in a chest for now. Then place a block of sand with cactus. And I'm actually going to run this out one more like this. So that would be like your hopper chain running back to wherever you want your carts to end up. Block there. And build up for a block there. And a block on top like that. Take a regular rail and place it on top of the hopper so it runs into the cactus. Place a block right there on top of the repeater with a slab right there. And then you want to build up a little chute just like this. And right here, dig down at least 30 blocks, which since I'm in a super flat world, I can only do a couple, but you'll want to dig down 30 blocks. And to make sure that the villagers die, this is completely optional, but I always like to do it just to be sure. Place a magma block at the bottom of the chute. So now we can load up with a cart. It falls into the chute. We decide we don't want to trade with this villager anymore. Hit the button. The cart will run out. Hit the cactus. Fall into the hopper. And end up in your chest. So now we can test this with a villager. So we get the villager in the cart. There we go. Villager falls down into there. Grab another one. There you go, into the next one. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind when you're designing your rail, villagers can move the carts on their own, so you want to make sure you're influencing them with power rail as much as possible. So there's the one in number 3. And there's number 4. Now, if you try to put one too many in here, the last bit of rail up here acts as an overflow protection. So basically, this guy will come in. See if I can push him. There he goes. He'll head down into there. Fall all the way through. And end up right there. So the cart comes through, hits the powered rail, gets up to speed that it needs, hits the detector rail, which activates the activator rail. So as soon as the cart hits that, the villager pops out and the cart keeps going. Then with the delay in the repeater, the piston extends, pushing the villager into the hole. As you can see, all the rails are facing away from where the villagers enter. But let's say this guy gives bad trades, we can hit this button. He rolls out. Ends up in the ditch. And now this rail faces back towards the entrance, where we can load in another villager. And you'll see they'll fall into the first open stall. Now, if you want, you can extend this out like this and basically mirror what you've done. So when you mirror it, you'll end up with something like this. But keep in mind, the cart is going to be coming from the other end. So you'll have to use the other method of running redstone up to your curved rail, which is off the back of this block, a piece of redstone dust, running into a block with a torch, underneath the rail. I removed the regular rail that was here, replaced it with a detector rail, and turned this into another stall, and moved the overflow protection over to the end of this aisle. So the overflow is at the end of the run of the upper rail. So now we can add 5 more villagers into the system. And all you do is you snake the lower rail around just like you did the upper rail, building towards the overflow. So when they fall down, all the rails are facing the right way. They're all going towards the villager killer and cart reclaimer. Now, if you wanted to do 2 of these back to back, I would recommend just leaving a 1 block space between the 2, because you can't run 2 of these rails right next to each other or the curved rails won't flip. Build something like this, run the rail down and around, and then right here you would start building your next aisle. So that is how I build my villager trading depot. If you like this video, please leave a like. If you didn't, hit dislike. Any questions or comments, leave them down below. If you want to know when the next one's coming out, hit subscribe. But that's going to do it for this one. And until next time, guys, take it easy.